So many people that helped get this started and worked at it, and I'm just really proud of all of them and would like to thank them very much.
We all care about each other. It's family, it's community.
When I moved to Pearland, I moved here in 1965 to be closer to the Johnson Space Center. We had about, I'd say maybe 3,000 people in Pearland. There weren't many houses available back in those days. Matter of fact, there were a lot of people who built a house, and right next to it was a little plowed field. So it was still a village. It wasn't really a city, it was a village.
It was a wonderful community. It was very small at the time. You knew your neighbors. You couldn't go to a restaurant without meeting somebody you knew. Vic Coppinger, when he was mayor, used to say the city was ugly, ugly, ugly. We had overflowing dumpsters. We had a lot of trash on the road. We had signs that were portable signs that were stuck up on the corners. We had real estate signs that would proliferate through town on the weekends. Though it was a wonderful community to live in appearance-wise, it needed a lot of improvement.
When we'd go down to the Space Center there, you had to go through Nassau Bay. And I said, wow, Charlie, we've got a sidewalk through the house. Isn't that fabulous? I think it's great. And the landscaping and the houses are made of brick or masonry. It's beautiful around here. Plant trees. So we said, why don't we do this in Pearland? That was the incentive to start doing something positive about making Pearland something different and very unique. So we started doing some planning, and when I did go on the council in 1973, we started doing the positive things of making certain that every time we tried to do something, we wanted to make it look pretty.
It was Fran Coppinger that got this whole program started. She was involved with an organization called the Beautify Texas Council, which became Keep Texas Beautiful. And she learned about a program that Keep America Beautiful had called the Clean Community System. So we learned all of that and came back, and that's how Keep Pearland Beautiful got started. It was called Clean Pearland at the beginning.
I started out in getting involved in Pearland was through the League of Women Voters. Through studying those things, I got to know Tom Reed, who was on that committee for the city.
One of the first programs we started, recycling program in the Lions Club parking lot. We had a truck brought in one Saturday a month, and people could bring their recyclables, and that was the first recycling program in Pearland. And it was totally volunteer.
The early founders they were all volunteers. They just wanted things to happen. And we all had our own visions of what Pearland could be and what it needed to be.
And then another early program we started was it's called Kippers. And it's for the kids in the school. It's called Kids in Pearland, Preserving the Environment Through Responsible Service. Keep Texas Beautiful started the Adopt a Highway program. We started our Pearland Adopt a Spot. We had a coordinator that was a city employee at that time, and her name was Patty Bates, and she got I don't know if you've seen the little blue signs around Pearland, but she started that program, and it's still going today, where people adopt a mile of city street or an area in a park.
And then we set this facility up and started converting it into the next stage and next step in what a recycle center and a Keep Pearland Beautiful organization should do.
We're all standing on the backs of the people who have built this city over the last several decades and who have made it a more beautiful place, who've made it a stronger community. And I'm proud to be a part of that work now to put my next link in the chain. I'm proud to work with Keep Pearland Beautiful and other organizations that share that vision of a Pearland that is cleaner and more aesthetically pleasing and an overall better place for people to come together and continue to be a part of this project and experiment that we've been doing for many years.
You've got your close-knit group of volunteers that they're either on the board or they're closely associated with KPB, and you see them at every event because they jump in and they say, I'll help. You know, I'm going to be there, I'm going to help. So a huge part of Keep Pearland Beautiful is the grassroots effort. So there's this whole program of events. The big litter cleanup that's done twice a year. There's a recycling event held here at the recycling center. It's those things that are a flash event on a certain day that everybody comes together, and you have a huge number of people that come together and participate in the event. We draw adults and families in on those events, and then at the same time you've got the programs for the children in the schools and bringing them together in events, and then they invite their parents to come to the events, and it just helps model that behavior that we're hoping to instill throughout the community. For years, Laura and I carried on the leadership for the Fund Development Group committee part of Keep Pearland Beautiful after my husband passed away. He was the key to fund development, and so when he left, I felt like, well, maybe I could carry on that legacy, take over in that part. So after he passed away, the first thing we did was, if anybody wanted to make a donation in memoriam, please make it to the KPB, and we set up the scholarship fund. First scholarships were supported by that fund, that legacy fund.
Our corporation has partnered with KPB on many beautification projects, most notably our entry features that we work with KPB. You know, our strategic priorities are to diversify our economic tax base of the community so we're not so dependent upon residential, and then also to continue to be a destination of choice in the Houston area. And obviously Keep Pearland Beautiful is an important part of that, because as the community ages and continues to grow, we're going to need to continue to make sure that the city remains an attractive place, and I think KPB's mission in the future is more important than it probably has been in the past, because keeping the momentum that we have, I think, is going to be a lot harder than getting to the place we've gotten to.
In 2065, we're going to have close to 8 million people come into the Houston metropolitan area. We're going to get our fair share. How can we handle them? Now, that means there's going to be a lot of subdivisions built. Not only are they doing something great, but now they're being expected to perform at that level. All of a sudden, if you keep doing good work, you got to keep doing it.
There are people in the community that have that, I call it sort of that eye for something, that it becomes their passion, and that is what we need. We need people in our community that see those opportunities and things that they're passionate about that they can get involved in, because that makes for a better community. Their vision is an important part of the community, is huge.
It's something I think they need to keep doing what we're doing today, but learn from other organizations what we can do that would be the next phase and next contribution that Keep Pearland Beautiful could do.
So you've got to keep working on it and keep educating the kids. Bring them up to know that you don't throw stuff out of the car windows. You don't throw your cigarette butts on the ground. We need to just keep that message in front of people all the time.
As we continue to grow as a community, it's important that we sustain the growth that we have and sustain the improvements that we've put in. And so part of all of us working together and Keep Pearland Beautiful and the city and all the other community organizations, it's important that all of them work together to make sure that we keep being that destination of choice in the Houston metropolitan area.
Yeah, I would say thank you to everyone who had the foresight many years ago to establish Keep Pearland Beautiful, to establish all these great organizations that keep our city a great place to live. And I hope to have a fraction of the contribution that you have had in making this an awesome place for me. And I hope I can say the same for my future kids and grandkids, and very blessed to be in this position. So thank you.
So many people that helped get this started and worked at it, and I'm just really proud of all of them and would like to thank them very much for everything they did.
Membership today needs to recognize that we're not there yet. We are well on the way.